So this is a 2023 Thor Twist. This is the Twist 2-pound. May not have been intended to be called a 2-pound, but that's what I'm going to call it, because again, that's what the model number is, 2-pound. Anyhow, we're going to get into it. It's not an electric door. This is a manual sliding door. Now, right off the bat, we can see this right here. Now, this is like a little table you can lay out like so. We also have this door here. Now, you can undo these little catches here and here. You can do those little snaps and you'll release that. And you can zip this down. And you'll have a screen door. Let some air in if it's a nice day. Now, this has magnets, so even when it's zipped down, you'll be able to just open this door just by spreading this right here, and it'll close back up behind you with magnets. More importantly though, as you're getting ready to use this van for camping, or anytime you want to use the components in the back of the van, you have to make sure to turn this knob on. Let's take a look at that. See that? Off here and on right there. So this knob's got to be the on position. If the knob is not in the on position, apart from not having power back here, your onboard house batteries will not charge if that's turned off. So make sure to turn that knob on whenever it's plugged into shore power, whenever you're running the generator, and obviously whenever you're using the stuff back here. Now right there, you can pop off that little panel, and behind it will be revealed a little petcock to drain the freshwater tank. Those are not your low point drain, that is the freshwater tank. So, also, you have these little drawers underneath this step up into the cab. That one over there is just a drawer. This one here has little pet bowls. That's cool, huh? You can take that out if you don't want to use that, if you don't have a pet. And this right here has a little door. Or, I'm sorry, did I say door? I want to apologize for that too. So apologies for saying door when it's not really a door. It is a table. So this table comes out, and the whole point to this, now you might wonder, why do I need a table right there? Well, the reason you need a table right there is because this chair swivels around, and now you have a table in front of you. Laptop, eating, whatever, right? Now both chairs do swivel, and we'll look at how to swivel them a little bit later. But right now we're going to put our table back. So, there we go. What else do we have here? So we have a microwave. Now this microwave is a convection microwave, so you can actually bake in it, right? We have our cooktop. 2-burner cooktop. This is a gas cooktop. This little button in the center, that is your igniter. Hear that? That ignites, that sends a spark to both burners. Even if you're not meaning to turn on the second one, it'll still try to ignite both of them. And this cover also acts as a backsplash when it's open. Just be careful not to put it down when it's really hot. Let it cool off first. Additionally, you have a wireless charger here. You can set your phone on there and it'll charge, or you can do this. Press that back there, and look at that. You have 110 outlets and charging ports right there. Regular USB as well as a USB-C. You have a sink here. Storage. more storage. As you can see, more storage. Now this storage area here has an outlet, USB ports, and this right here is the button to turn on your TV antenna. This control panel here, there's our Truma combi heater. We'll talk about that in a minute. And we have our inverter control panel there. And of course our BM Pro touchscreen. So we're going to go over those things here in a minute. So right now let's talk about this NovaCool refrigerator. Now this refrigerator is a 12 volt refrigerator, and like I said, it runs on 12 volts, so it's a very efficient refrigerator. It does not use a lot of 12 volts. It does have a little lock. See that? Keep it from opening up when you're on the road. Now let's move on. Now back here, the way this is set up, you can use this as 2 single beds here. You can use these as couches as they're currently configured, or you can make this into 1 bed. So to do that, you're going to use these 2 cushions here to fill this gap here. So the way you would do that, under here, see that silver bar, another one over there. So what you do is you're gonna reach under here, pull this out. It goes across like that. Now that's going to support that cushion. That cushion is hard on the back. It's got a board sewn into it, so it will sit here. And there's another similar bar right under here. Now additionally back here, we have that as a propane and carbon monoxide detector. That is our AC unit, our rooftop air conditioner. Now for this to work, we have to be plugged into shore power, or we have to have the generator running. Right now we're plugged into shore power, so we could run it if we had to. Right now I'm just running the engine so I can use the dash air. Now this rooftop air conditioner does have little ducts here, which can be rotated around. And it's got ducts over here that can be opened and closed with this knob, like so. And these grills here are the filters. You can pop these off to clean those filters. That's a washable filter. Now the screens in here, or I'm sorry, not screens, the shades. I apologize for saying screens, right? So these not screens, these window shades, got a zipper right here, so that's how you open them. Very neat material. It's the same material that's on the front seats. We'll see that in a minute. These over here are open, of course. That's what they look like, open. Now coming back to this control panel, this is our BM Pro control panel. BM Pro control panel has a touchscreen. You have some quick access buttons for lights. You can turn off lights just by pressing this button or these buttons. I'm just pressing those 4 buttons, and that causes the lights to go on. Right? You also have quick access here. A1 would typically be awning. We don't have an awning on this coach. Off, it just turns off the screen, and PA puts it in pairing mode for the app. There's an app you can download. You can search on the App Store for BM Pro and you'll find the app. Download the app, and then you go here to PA, hit extend, and that puts it into pairing mode. You see that flashing, and then follow the instructions on the app, and you can link the app with this system, and now everything that's on here will now be on your phone. Pretty simple to use. So anyway, getting to this screen. This is a touch screen to control most of the equipment on this van. So the way this is laid out, we have these icons on the left side. Each one of those icons is a different page on the screen. Right there, we are on the home screen. There we can see our tank levels. We have lights that we can get to by touching that. Those are all the individual lights that we can control. Climate, we can touch that, and that takes us to our climate settings. Lights on, lights off, with the flip of a button there, or touch of a button, we can turn all the lights on or all the lights off. We have our water pump button. That's our on-demand water pump. So that can be left on typically because it's on demand. It only runs when it needs to. So normally if you're camping, you're going to have that pump just on, and it's going to stay ready to operate the second you open a faucet, flush your toilet, use the shower, anytime you need water. Right now we're not using the coach though, so we're going to turn it back off. And of course climate, that turns on the air conditioner. I'm going to turn that off right now. So other settings we have here, this little droplet is water. So here again, it shows you the tanks that we just saw on the previous screen, but this shows it more in depth. Now that these readings are approximate, they're not exact. So like the gray and the black show empty. I know they got a little bit of water because we were testing stuff and ran a little bit of water in there, just not enough to register, I guess, above empty. Again, you have a button for the water pump, and then you have tank heaters. The tank heaters is basically like an electric blanket that's glued to the bottom of these tanks here to keep them from freezing during a hard freeze. It runs off of 12 volts. Then we have our climate page, which is this icon here. Again, we can turn on the air conditioner there. This can adjust our set point. When the air conditioner is running, this button you can use to change it from cool. Cool's just going to run indefinitely regardless of what temperature you set over here. Or you can put the cool, set it to cool auto. On cool auto, it's just going to run to achieve 70 degrees and then turn off, and then come on and off as needed to maintain 70 degrees. Low and high. The fan, you can set it to run low or high. I'm going to keep it probably low so it doesn't get noisy on us, right? And then as you can see there, it shows 93. 93 is the ambient temperature. That's what the temperature sensor is reading in here as the temperature. Pretty warm because it's been sitting in the sun. And the temperature sensor for this thing is that little guy right there, that little black dot. Okay, coming back to the different features. So we have our air conditioning, as we just talked about. And we have this light bulb, of course, that saw your lights. Then this lightning bolt we can get to, and this will show you your batteries there. Shows you coach and chassis battery. So the chassis battery is the engine battery. Coach battery is what is sometimes called the house battery. That's the battery for everything back here in the back, all the camping stuff. Then we have an icon that shows you propane. Shows you how much propane we have on board. We have a start and stop switch for the generator. And then lastly, we have this little icon that is for your fan, so you can turn on the kitchen fan. That's that little fan up here. And then the bathroom fan. There's another fan back there for the showers. Now this button here is to turn on and off your inverter. Now your inverter will supply power. Basically it's going to take 12 volt power from your batteries that are underneath the back of the coach, underneath here. It'll take batteries from the battery power. Let me apologize yet again for not being able to use my words. So the inverter, somebody's hair is in here, it's like Kelly's hair. Anyhow, so the inverter is going to take 12 volt power from your house batteries or coach batteries, the batteries that are underneath the coach back here, the ones for the camping stuff. I'm going to take power from those batteries and turn it into 110 volts to power will supply power, I think, just to this plug here and that plug down there. So it's not to run the air conditioner. It will not run the AC off of those batteries. You cannot with this with this coach. You can do it with some coaches. Some of these that have the lithium package, you can run it off the inverter. This one you cannot. This is not, does not have the lithium package. This does, however, have 2 AGM batteries. So anyway, you can turn that on and off here by long pressing that button. And then this right here, this system is what heats our cabin if we need heat in the cabin. This also heats our water if we want hot water in the coach to take a shower, wash your hands, whatever. So the way this works, this screen that we're seeing there, that's the time. That's not the current time. The time is wrong. It's not been set, but anyhow, that's the time that's displayed there. So this is a back button right here, and this is a button that you can press in or you can turn the dial. So the way this works, you can just scroll through the different settings. They'll start to blink like so. So for example, if you highlight the little camper icon that's blinking there, that means you're going to change the settings for the cabin heat. So we can, once we highlight it, we press in on the wheel like so, and it tells us it's off. So to turn it on, we're going to scroll. So right there we can set it to whatever temperature we want. So we want it set to 65. Press enter, and right there it's on. So the flame up here above the black line tells us that the cabin heat is on, and the this symbol here tells us that it's creating heat using propane. And the little fan symbol with one blade highlighted tells us that it is on low speed. Now we can adjust the speed of the fan that's blowing by going through this little fan thing here, the symbol. Press enter. It tells us that it's in eco mode, that's low speed, or we can change it to high and then press enter. Now we see the symbol up here above the black line has now changed to 2 pedals or 2 blades highlighted on that fan symbol. So that means it's running on high. That's the only settings. It does not have a medium setting or anything different than that. So it's just eco or high. Now it's going back to displaying the time as well as the temperature that's been set here. So we're going to go back here. Now we can heat the water in the coach to give us hot water. Now it does take about 15 to 20 minutes of it running before you will get hot water coming out the tap. So set your, let's back up. So let's go, we're going to highlight this symbol here. See that? That is the symbol for the hot water heater. So to control that, we've highlighted it. We're going to press enter, and we can see that it's off. We're going to change it to eco. Eco is just going to give you warm water. What you want to do is set it to hot and press enter, and now it's set to hot. Now that little symbol is also shown above the black line. The black line, everything that's above the black line is status. So right there, the status is showing us that we have the little symbol for the cabin heat as well as the hot water heater above the black line. So those two are running, and both of those are running off of propane. This system only gives us only works off of propane. Some of these have an electric element you can use to heat stuff. This one only has propane. So back here, now if we wanted to, we could do this. So let's go to the hot water heater. I'm going to press enter. Oh, nope. I'm out of control here. So highlight the hot water heater part, hit enter. Hot, let's say we scroll to the right, we go to boost. Now it says boost. So what that does when you set it to boost, it's going to turn off the cabin heat for about 20-25 minutes or so and divert all its resources towards heating the water. So the purpose of boost is if you're going to take a shower or something like that, you want to, you're concerned that you might run out of hot water while you're showering. So you want to set it to boost mode, and that'll use up all the resources of the system to try to keep a continuous flow of hot water. Now typically that will run for about 20-25 minutes, like I said, then it's going to shut itself off and basically revert back to hot mode on its own. Otherwise you turn it off by going like this, go to off, enter. Now our status only shows the cabin heat. Now we're going to turn off the cabin heat by scrolling all the way back to 0. Now above the black line we see there's nothing else shown now. Now this symbol here is for, there's a timer. You can set timers and stuff. This is where you set your time, and then the little wrench, that's settings, backlighting and different things. We're going to talk about stuff up here in the cab. So up here, okay, so we are in the cab of this Thor Twist. We're going to talk about some of this stuff up front. Apologize if that's blinking. It's not blinking in real life. It just has to do with the refresh rate on the camera. All this stuff up here does what a typical car or truck dash would do, with the exception of this button here, emergency start. So the emergency start button is a system that will temporarily link your engine battery for the engine up here and the batteries back there. It'll link those two temporarily while you are holding this button. Now you have to be holding it for it to do that. So the purpose of that is, if let's say that you accidentally left your lights on, right? You turn on your lights over here and left them on, and forgot about it, and your battery went dead. So that you can have this battery for the engine be dead and still have plenty of electricity here in the back, because that's a separate electrical system, separate batteries back there. So in such a case, you could actually hold that button down while pressing this start button here, and it'll allow the engine to start. It'll steal a little bit of electricity from the back, allowing it to start. So that's one you use for that button. That can come in. That'll get you out of a jam. That also works in reverse. Let's say that this battery up front was good, but you were, boondocking, dry camping, off the grid stuff, whatever you want to call it, and you didn't have your generator running, weren't plugged into shore power, and accidentally ran the battery so low in the back that stuff turned off. Basically, if the control panel, that touch screen up there, doesn't turn on, that means the batteries are really low. Otherwise, it'll show you, usually if it gets down to like 10.5 volts or so, it's going to shut off, because it's not enough to keep that running. So let's say you were doing that and that battery went dead, but this battery up here was still had plenty of juice, right? So you would press that there, while a second person would have to press the generator start button on the control panel back there, and that would steal a little bit of electricity from the engine battery to allow the generator to start. If I didn't mention this, the generator gets its electricity to start from the batteries in the back. So this is your shifter. This is where you can shift. Tow haul, right there, that button, that is not a brake controller. Some people think that's a brake controller. That is not a brake controller. That when you enable tow haul mode, it's going to adjust the way the transmission shifts, and it'll shift it geared towards towing a trailer, having some weight back there. Otherwise you typically would not run that. You have USB chargers there, USB-C and regular USB, cigarette lighter type 12 volt receptacle there. Now we're going to take a quick walk around the outside and take a look at some of the features on the outside of the van. We do have a You can see the rooftop AC and also the solar panel. It does have a 190 watt solar panel up there. You got 110 outlets right there. There is your hitch. 3,500 pound capacity. It has a 4 flat connector, so it does not have a 7-way for hooking up a trailer with trailer brakes. Now back here we have access to our shower. We could access that from the inside, but it's a little tight. I decided to come through the back. Now here we can connect this little shower sprayer to this little spigot, this little quick connect right there. For washing hands and whatnot, we can turn on a light from here, and we can turn on our water pump from here as well. Doors. Now when you shower back here, use water, use the shower sprayer, you have to make sure you use the shower curtain. See that rail that it rides on? Otherwise you'll soak all these cabinets that are not intended to get wet. So there's our shower and our toilet and our sink. You'll note that the sink does, the little bowl does not have a drain. That's because when you use it and it gets wet and it gets full in here, you're just going to fold it up and it'll drain in there where the actual drain is. And this, of course, folds out as needed. Otherwise, it folds, gets out of the way. Got a little medicine cabinet, another light switch, and a fan switch for that vent up there. And that just pushes up to open, pulls down to close. And you can use that red button to turn it on and off, but if you turn it off there, this fan switch will not do anything. Now that's the same fan switch that we saw a button for on that control panel up front. Now those little bungees right there, the bungee cords, are to secure the slider door that partitions this bathroom section off. Those are latched there to keep it from sliding back and forth. So we are going to close that there. And back here, this is where you connect your sewer hose. See that connection? Connect your sewer hose, and that goes to the dump site wherever you're connected. And then there are your dump handles. Those T-handles, called T-handles. So you just pull those, and that opens the gate valve, and stuff will start streaming out that hose. Just never ever pull those handles unless your hose is connected to that connection there and in the dump, in the actual ground dump. So always do the black first and then the gray. Always in that order, never gray first. There is the exhaust for the generator. This is a connection after you've dumped your black tank. Whenever you finish dumping both of your tanks, afterwards you can connect a water hose here and turn it on and open the black handle, the black tank valve, and while your sewer hose is still connected, and that's going to power spray the inside of your black tank. Usually do that for about 2-3 minutes, and that'll flush the inside of that tank to keep it clean. Otherwise your sensors that read the level might read inaccurately, so keep that in mind. This is the exhaust for the Truma water / cabin heater. We call it a combi heater. Now also we have this connection where it says city fill. So if you're at a campground, you can connect a drinking water hose right there, and that'll provide pressurized water to the inside, all the fixtures inside. So you don't have to use your onboard pump or use any of the water from the onboard water tank. That'll bypass all of that. That comes up in under pressure. You probably want to get a water pressure regulator to regulate how much pressure is going into your pump. Now this connection here is where you would connect a hose to fill the onboard water tank. Now here, there is your sewer hose. That is the sewer hose that attaches back there in the back. Then right there where you see low point drains on underneath the coach is where the little petcocks are to drain the water lines inside the coach. Now this is where you fill your propane or have your propane fill. You typically do not fill your own propane, they fill it for you. When you're going to use anything that's propane related, you do have to have that switch on. When you turn it off, that automatically cuts off all the propane inside the coach. Of course, this is your short core 30 amp connection. It is recommended you have this coach plugged in when not in use. Now this connection here is if you're at a campground that has free cable, you can run a coax in here and that will feed cable inside. Now this is a connection for an auxiliary extra solar panel. It's already got one, as we saw. Now you do have to open this little door to view your. This is where you add fuel, unleaded fuel. Now this is the cabin again. This from the outside looking in. And when you swivel the seats, there's a tab right there underneath the seat. See that yellow tab? So moving that tab up releases the seat. However, in this case it's not moving because it's up against the seat's recline. You do have to have the seat forward and not recline so it'll spin around. Once you have it spun around, then you can recline it if you want. Hood release is here. Alright, so that is a wrap of this walkthrough and demo of this 2023 Twist by Thor 2-pound model, 2-pounder. Alright, we'll see you on the next one.